Britain's royal family gathered at Westminster Abbey on Tuesday to mark the 60th anniversary of the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. The Queen was crowned in Westminster Abbey on June 2, 1953, in a ceremony filled with symbolism and tradition. British monarchs have been crowned in the ancient London church since William the Conqueror in 1066. The anniversary ceremony was designed to evoke memories of 60 years ago. The Queen wore the golden, jewel-encrusted St. Edward's crown, which she wore for her coronation. It is the first time the crown has left the Tower of London since 1953. The 1953 coronation was Britain's first mass television event. It was watched by more than 20 million people.
Her Majesty knelt at the beginning of a path of demanding devotion and utter self-sacrifice, a path she did not choose, yet to which she was called by God. Today we celebrate 60 years since that moment, 60 years of commitment.
Pomp and ceremony returned to Westminster Abbey on Tuesday, but few stopped to ask where this throne began. Britain's royals have an unbroken chain of monarchs who can trace their lineage all the way back to King David. Your Bible prophesies that when Christ returns, he too will sit on this throne. To learn about the history and future of this majestic throne, read Herbert W. Armstrong's free book, The United States and Britain in Prophecy.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Trumpet Daily. Last month you may have seen a few stories about the so-called gentle succession currently underway within the House of Windsor in England. The Independent reported on January 20th that the heir to the throne is expected to take on more of the 87-year-old Queen's duties, including overseas visits, as part of a slow convergence of their roles. So it may be that we're drawing near to another coronation of a British monarch, something this world has not seen in more than 60 years. Over the last few years, the House of Windsor in England has actually made quite a few headlines. In April of 2011, an estimated 2 billion people tuned in to watch Prince William marry Kate Middleton at Westminster Abbey. When William's father married Diana Spencer back in 1981, more than 750 million people tuned in to watch it on television. At the time, it was the most popular event ever shown on TV. While watching the grandeur of Prince Charles's wedding back in 1981, Herbert W. Armstrong was inspired to write a long article about the royal family for the Plain Truth magazine. He noted Britain's unique ability to host such a glorious and colorful extravaganza. It was a spectacle unparalleled, he wrote. The bride, he said, was bright, cheerful, and happy. And then Mr. Armstrong went on to say this: I do not know whether the present generation of royal family know and believe it, but I've been informed that the royal family of 2 or 3 generations ago did know that the British sovereign is in fact a continuation of the dynasty of King David of ancient Israel. Now that's quite a statement to make. And on today's program, we're going to examine some critical history about the British throne that most people have long since forgotten.
Shalom, Yasharala. This your brother Dawada from GMS St. Petersburg, Florida, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahawah, Bahashem, YAHAWASHI, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity on the 4 corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. All right, so I want to just pretty much as you see in the video, you know, you have the Queen of England, right? You have this woman first and foremost, all right, that's sitting on this here throne over here in England, right? Now, if you go into this here history over there, Lowell and I'll put a video together with that and kind of show you a little bit of that history, you know. But when you go into our history, all right, just keep it short. The 1611 Bible, right? The 1611 Bible, we're going to use that for a date reference, all right? It was, you know, the year 1611, right? At the same time, who translated that Bible, all right? King James, all right? And basically, like, long story short, this is a so-called black man, all right, that was ruling over there in the 1600s, all right? But nevertheless, you know, and you go a little bit into their history and things like that. That was basically, you know, Israel over there. All right. But nevertheless, when you see what happens now, all right, these people came in there and they hijacked all these things. All right. Now, even if you go into the Queen's family and all them, these people are actually Germans. Right. And when you go back and I believe you look at like, I believe I'll have to do a video on that too. But nevertheless, when you look into the relatives of these the royals and whatnot, they changed their last names and everything like that. These people are Germans, all right? The so-called, they will claim to be so-called Germans, all right? Just like these so-called Israelis and stuff like that, you know, they just go around and they be changing their identity. Just like how modern day today, you call the people that live here Americans, but these people aren't the actual Americans, all right? Americans didn't come over to this here land and wage war against other Americans and then just take this here land. That didn't happen. The so-called European, the Edomites, the so-called white man came over here and waged war against the so-called Native American Indians, all right, which are Israelites, all right. But nevertheless, getting into this here topic, what you have today, modern days today, you know, which is crazy to me is that, you know, somebody else brought this out too. You know, they were saying that, you know, you have different levels of society, right? The low level of society, you know, they program you, you know, like with education and stuff like that, they program you to be dumb as hell, right? Because they need you to be a damn dumbass following slave, right? In order to keep ruling things, you know, you have this type of relationship in the world. You got a slave and a slave master, right? You can't have a nation full of slaves and no slave master, or a nation full of servants and no king, or a king with no servants. All right. If everybody was equal on an equal playing field, if everybody was an elite, who was going to work for the elites? Or if everybody was a king, who would they have in subjection? You see what I'm saying? But nevertheless, when you look at these things, when you look at these things over there, you know, they tell you in this here society, right? Like I said, on the low level where they try to keep you dumb, that what the Bible isn't real. These are all fairy tales and so on and so forth. And, you know, all these things like that, you know, there's a separation, you know, like that, how they would want to say separation between church and state. But in reality, it's kind of like this. They give you the perception that there's a separation between church and state. Like the church is something mythical and metaphoric and so on and so forth. This is and that. It's not literal. It's not really talking about these certain things. You know, it's just maybe some good advice, you know, this type of thing. And then the things that they doing with the so-called state or whatever, this is so-called reality to them. This is what's really popping off. All right. And they kind of separate the two. Just like when you go into the modern day schools and stuff today, you know, on the low levels, they try to tell you about all this is like fairy tales or whatever, whatnot. You know, you try to go into a school and pull out things in the Bible, they will look at you like you funny. Right. But nevertheless, when you get into, I would say higher education, but still, you still have that in the low level as well, too. But when you get into getting into these certain positions in higher levels, right, you have to go and get a different kind of education. All right. When you get this different kind of education, they start informing you on, how do you say, actual information about certain things. All right. Just like how, you know, you have certain people right now that's working in, let's say, technological field or whatever, whatnot. And they know the capabilities that they got because they're expert in their field. All right. But they're on the so-called low level. But when you get into, like, let's say this military or these high elites, they on a whole nother playing field. They got way more technology than what you got. Your mind is limited to what you know about. Right. But they have a whole nother education. So long story short, getting into this. All right. They have the education that they dumb you down with in the fool system. All right. But then at the so-called higher education level, like when you becoming in this so-called Illuminati and they trying to give you certain secrets of this and that, you know, just for instance, the Illuminati or Freemasonry and things like that. Again, the regular society, they would tell you about the Bible and everything being all fairy tales and so on and so forth. But when you join this so-called secret society, an elite group of people higher up than the rest of the people, they give you knowledge that most people don't know about. So what do they start doing? Teaching you and telling you about things in the Bible. But then you have to go back and backtrack. But wait a minute, I thought you know, in this Freemasonry, whatever, whatnot, you got politicians, whatever, whatnot. But out there in the regular world and on the media, y'all portraying this is all fairy tales. But when we go behind closed doors, you guys are looking at these types of things, you know. So they have different types of levels of information that they give their people. All right. Now, when you fast forward until today, like I said, they try to make a separation between church and state. Right. They would have you believe that, you know, on a low level that, you know, the queen over there, the people over there in England, right, they got into their power and position because of basically conquest and war and things like that. They just survived and made it out on top, right? But when you actually go into their history and things like that, and you ask them like some real serious questions, what gives you justification to be here? All right, as you see on the video, they'd be like, well, look, We are the descendants of Israel. All right. And this land was promised to us. And these not even the so-called Israeli people who's claiming the same shit. You see what I'm saying? They claiming the same shit. But at the end of the day, they are Edomites. The ones in Israel, they will be a tribe of Edom called Amalek. They are the Amalekites. All right. But nevertheless, over there in England, these people are pretty much saying the same story, that they're the children of Israel and that they are sitting on the throne of David. All right. Because why? They believe into these scriptures. All right. They not to say they believe in the scriptures, but they know these scriptures and they're using this pretty much against us. All right. Because why? In the world, if you was to look out, first of all, they got a so-called white image of Jesus that we bow down to. Second of all, like I said, if you get this actual higher knowledge and this higher understanding of these things, like some people believe, dealing with Israel, the state of Israel, that it's just a nation, whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? They don't know about any of the credence or whatever was going on. Then you have some deeper people who are saying, oh, well, yeah, they got this land because it was promised to them by God and so on and so forth. So they have an understanding that, some of this shit is kind of real. But then you get, you see what I'm saying? You have two different levels of these people. All right. But nevertheless, when you look around at, what's being, not to say portrayed in the open, but what you see is being portrayed is what their real story is. These people, like I said, wholeheartedly are using these things as, how I say, weapons against us. But what? We know the scriptures, so we can defend ourselves against those things. All right. So I'm going to go through and point out that first and foremost, all right, well, as you've already seen in the video, like homegirl is literally sitting on the throne of David. How you going to try to tell me that the Bible ain't real? These people are all fake. This is all imaginary, but you want me to believe that you're the Queen of England. You know what I'm saying? Or that you should have authority over the whole world because you sitting on the throne of David, some fucking made up character in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? The Bible's a fairy tale. Like, come on, man. What the hell? You know what I'm saying? It's like, if I believe you, that you sitting on the throne of David because God told you to, that's your people, whatever, whatnot. But at the same time, you telling me all these people is fake and it's all a lie. Which one do I believe? If I believe you're supposed to be sitting on the throne, then I got to accept that you believing in this delusion that you got me believing is a delusion. You see what I'm saying? It don't make no damn sense. All right. It's either that the Bible is fake and these are all made up stories and characters, or that the Bible is real and that y'all are supposed to be sitting on the throne. Which one is it? All right. The option is actually the third option. This is all bullshit and lies. All right. We're going to go through the scriptures and show you the real deal. All right. So like I said, you seen in the video where homegirl sitting on the throne of David. They got the, that coronation stone and all this. This is all in their ceremonies. This is all what they doing. All right. So when you go over there, you look at that throne that homegirl and them got and all those jewels and stuff. These are actual artifacts. This is like, some real deal shit. You see what I'm saying? You can't be like, these are made up stories or whatever, whatnot. Where did that throne come from? All right. What is the credence on all this? See, you really want me to believe like, man, if I literally have to believe you and accept your authority as the Queen of England, I have to believe that the things in the scriptures are real. That's what you're forcing me to believe. All right. It's not that you sitting on no fake ass throne that you just made up a story about or named it after that. Cause you think that you're an authority because you're sitting on that throne. So therefore you believe that there's some, credence to that. All right. In all actuality, these things are all written about in the Bible. All right. These things were supposed to happen. So we're going to get it, but then we're going to show you in the light that it's not set up for, like they would say, this is the so-called white man's book. He wrote that book. Like, wait a minute. The so-called white man is written about in this book, but it's not written about him in no good way. So like I said, yeah, it's written that y'all gonna be doing the shit that y'all doing, sitting on the throne and all of that shit. But it's not saying that, look, okay, God gave it. Well, the land was trodden down to the Gentiles and we in this captivity. But it's not like he's like, all right, I'm gonna set y'all up on the throne and y'all gonna reign forever because I chose y'all to do this, this, and that. Nah, he set y'all up into a trap bag. You see what I'm saying? He sent you on a goddamn suicide mission. All right, so we're gonna get that in the scriptures. This is Ezekiel 36. I'm gonna start at verse 1. Also, thou son of man, prophesy against Salakia. Also, thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel and say, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of Yahawah. All right, that's what we're doing right now. Thus saith Yahawah power, because the enemy, all right, who is our enemy? Number one enemy is who? Esau, all right? When you go back to Genesis 27 and 41, that was where it all started at, all right? And it's still playing out to the same day, all right? Thus saith Yahawah power, because the enemy have said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are in our possessions, all right? It's like it. And we know that what? They have these Edomites, because they all Edomites, whether they be, just an Edomite or from one of the tribes being what? Amalek, right? Just like, it's the same thing as saying like, the so-called tribe of Judah. You see what I'm saying? The so-called tribe of Judah doing this, this, and that. But then you have the house of Israel, the whole house of Israel. It's the same thing. It's just one of them is a tribe of the whole house. Is it's a part of it, but that's still part of the whole thing. You see what I'm saying? Or like, you're looking at, you got a door on a car. right? Yeah, that's just one door on the car, but it's all part of the car. You see what I'm saying? There's 3 other doors on the car, and then you got the rest of the car itself to make up the whole car. All right, you just got one door open. All right, so that's like how the same thing as talking about Amalek. Amalek would be just a door upon the whole car. All right, Edom would be the whole car. All right, so it says, verse 2, thus saith Yahweh power, because the enemy have said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are in our possession. Like I said, the land of Israel, but not just that. They have basically our whole name and identity that these Edomites are stealing. All right. Look again, look at the Queen of England. She's sitting on that throne. First of all, it's a woman sitting on the throne of David. What we're gonna get in here says Most High basically says not gonna David not gonna want a man to sit on his throne. He's not gonna want for a man to sit on his throne, meaning that not that he ain't gonna want no males to be sitting on his throne. It's being like, yo, I ain't lacking. I'm not. So let me give you a different example. If I was to say I ain't gonna never be in want for money, right? What does that mean? Not saying that I don't want no money, meaning I ain't gonna never be in need to where I need no money, because I always got money. Same thing here with the Most High saying to David. He's like, yo, man, you're not gonna want for a man to sit on your throne, because I'm gonna always set up your seed forever. So from your loins, you're gonna always have a king basically gonna be on the throne. All right, and then further up into these times, King David gonna be raised back up, and he's gonna continue to sit on that throne, man. All right, it's gonna be Yahweh with the Most High, then YAHAWASHI, then King David, the 12, then 144,000. All right, they're gonna all have thrones. All right, and they're not gonna abdicate the throne. They're not gonna give it over to nobody else. All right. So it says, verse 2, thus saith Yahweh power, because the enemy have said against you, aha, even the high places are in our possession. Therefore prophesy and say, thus saith Yahweh power, because they have made you desolate. All right, and who made us desolate? All right, where did these things start coming from? All right. Over there in Europe, Spain, and stuff like that. All right. In fact, the first slave ships came from Spain. All right. And who was the so-called Spaniards at that point in time? All right. It was these Edomites. All right. Because they're like, oh, well, that was the Spaniards and so on and so. Like, that's some bullshit, because in reality, we was the Spaniards. Right before y'all became Spaniards, y'all took over us. When you go into the history and you look up the Moors, all right, that would have been us under that damn Islamic religion. All right. But then y'all took us down. That's why the first slave ships came from over there. All right, from Spain and Portugal and things like that. All right, and then we started coming from Europe and stuff like that. Then that's where the regal house or the head houses was from, the royal houses, i.e. the king, basically like King David's line and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? All right, and this is again when you go into King James. You see what I'm saying? These were all so-called black men. All right, these are all Israelites. All right, we was taken into captivity from the so-called white man, and now he's hijacked all of our things. Not only did he take over. We were staying over in Europe and Spain and all that. He took over all of that stuff. He also took over the land of Israel. All right. But then now he's also taken over our identity and our relics. All right. Sitting on the throne of David and stuff like that. Not only that, they got a woman sitting on the throne. You got an Edomite woman sitting on the throne of David, man. All right. Portraying that you the people of the Lord, man. These are just all abominations, man. Abominations and lies and filth, man. All right. Continuing on, it says, verse 3, therefore prophesy and say, thus saith Yahweh power, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that you might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen. All right. And that's exactly what happened to us. Like I said, we was over there in Spain, we was in Europe and these places like that. We was also in Africa as well. But like I said, at the beginning of all these, the transatlantic slave trade and things like that, we was taken from these places at first. All right. So what? These people came around, these same people from the same places are sitting up on top off of our backs. They the ones took us into captivity. They the ones hijacked all of our stuff. They're the ones reaping all the benefits. All right. And you can't even say that the Edomites, the so-called white man, ain't the Edomites. All right. This is some bullshit, because it's not the Arabs. You know, the Arabs, they got their kings and shit like that over there, but they sitting on, like they say, the throne of Ishmael or whatever, whatnot. They're not saying they sitting on the throne of David. They're not portraying to be the Israelites. It's the so-called white man doing this. All right. This battle is over the name of who gonna be Israel is between the so-called white man and the so-called black man. All right. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. We the real Israelites. But as you reading these stories and stuff like that in the Bible, this is what the big controversy is. You didn't have these hijackers that came in and hijacked our identity. We suffering from identity theft right now. All right. When you go, let me stop there. Let me go, this is Psalms 83, verse 2. For lo, thy enemy make a tumult. They that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. So they planning and plotting against the Israelites. All right. They have said, this is what their plan is. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembrance. Now, they didn't have that land over there since, what, 1948, been calling it Israel since then, right? Now, they also, like, this name has always been around. And the word Israel has always been in the scripture like that. You see, they didn't just put this back in the Bible. So the name Israel has been on the map. People have known about that for this whole time, right? That's not no new revelation. However, what this is talking about the Israelites. This is so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. This is why we have to keep saying you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because you're in a Gentile state, all right? You think you a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American because you've had your identity stolen, all right? And you don't call yourself Israelites no more. This is why we have to go out and fish the elect, the Gentiles, and raise them back up, graft them back into being Israelites. Well, bring them back to the knowledge that they Israelites, because you can't convert nobody, right? Like, let me give you an example. I can't convert a Mexican, a so-called Mexican, to being a so-called black man. You see what I'm saying? That you're not gonna be able to do that. You see what I'm saying? Because you got a so-called, how he would say, they DNA. This guy's Mexican, right? Carnally, right? This guy's Mexican. This guy's black. You can't just start listening to rap music and you know, do some shit like what so-called black man be doing, and now all of a sudden you black. You know what I'm saying? When you have kids, your kids still gonna come out so-called Mexican carnally, all right? But nevertheless, well, we still all Israelites, but nevertheless, that was an example I'm trying to give you, that you can't convert people onto being other people. So they took our remembrance of being Israelites away from us, all right? And then they stole our identity, all right? Now they're walking around calling themselves Israel, and we're calling ourselves, this is the fight between our people, man. Like with us and the rest of our people, trying to wake our people up. Like, you not niggas, or you not Negroes, you not Latinos, and you not Native Americans, you not Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, you none of this shit. You know what I'm saying? You are the nation of Israel. All right. You, like, you know, you Ephraimites, Benjamites, Judahites, Manassites, you Reubenites, you Asherites. You see what I'm saying? You from the tribe of Naphtali. These are your tribes. These are your names. You are the whole house of Israel. All right. Whether you come from the northern kingdom, the kingdom of Israel, or you come from the southern kingdom, the kingdom of Judah, you're all the whole house of Israel. This is the controversy of us waking up our people right now. All right. When you go into Ezekiel 2, Ezekiel 3, and Ezekiel 37, this is the mission that the Most High had to send his prophets out to go raise up when you go into the valley of the dry bones. That's what we're talking about, because you don't know them dead bodies. You don't know who the fuck you are, because somebody came in and stole your identity. They hijacked your identity. All right. Now let me get back to Ezekiel 36. Let me read this all over again. Ezekiel 36, I'm gonna start at verse 2. It says, "Thus saith Yahawah power, because the enemy has said against you," like we was just reading, "Lo, thy enemy make a tumult, and they have lifted up, they that hate thee, they have lifted up the head. They've consulted against thy hidden ones." All right. They planning and plotting on your ass. All right. To take the name of Israel out of your remembrance. All right. Steal your identity. Verse 2 again. "Thus saith Yahawah power, because the enemy have said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are in our possession." So they got, not only do they got the land of Israel, but they got the damn throne of David, man. And they got a goddamn shaggy ass Edomite woman sitting on the throne of David, man. What kind of bullshit is this, man? All right. This is like a fucking abomination, man. Most High said that David wasn't. First of all, man, ain't gonna get into all of that shit, man. Ain't supposed to be no woman sitting on the damn throne, man. Women ain't supposed to usurp no authority over no man, first and foremost. So how you gonna have a woman ruling over the whole house of all these men? That's an abomination to begin with. Second of all, it's a goddamn Edomite. All right. The damn devil, man. It's a goddamn old shaggy ass devil woman sitting on the throne of David, man. And then they got her all decked in all this gold. That's supposed to be our shit, man. All of that is ours. Just to, you know, not to even say that we should be wanting all that right now, because all that shit is kind of defiled and all dirty. What we finna get is way better than that shit, man. We finna be way more decked out than all of that. You see what I'm saying? But nevertheless, it's still an abomination that these people over here got our mask on and walking around with our name. These motherfuckers done got a real life mask that look like us, walking into our bank. You know what I'm saying? Withdrawing all our money out the shit. You see what I'm saying? Walking up into our house, sleeping with our women. This is what they doing. You see what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. This is a walking abomination that these people got going on. And then they constantly lie to us. And then they go and bombing in the name of the Lord and have people bowing down unto them. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, bro, this is not how it's supposed to be, man. All right, let me just continue on. It says, verse 3, "Therefore prophesy and say, thus saith Yahawah power, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that you might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen." Again, they took us in captivity. "And ye are taken up in the lips of talkers, and are the infamy of the people." Y'all niggas, spicks, wetbacks. Go back to your country, you fucking niggers. You see what I'm saying? Like, yo, wait a minute. We the gods of the universe, man. We the sons of the Most High himself, man. The hell you gonna goddamn move your mouth against the apple of the Most High eye like that for, bruh? What kind of shit isn't going on in your head? But what? Again, like some people would say, oh, this is the white man's book. Well, the white man ain't talked about in no lightly way up in the Bible, all right? So when you really get these understandings of these things, all right? But yet and still we understand because these people have flipped all of this, like the scripture, like what we're reading right now. They put themselves into our positions and saying all these things about us, all right? But, I mean, like, imagine them being us right now, saying all this shit about basically us. But yet and still, we don't have them in captivity. They got us in captivity. That's why we wait on the Lord to come and save us out of our captivity from our enemies and put them into subjection. You see what I'm saying? That didn't happen for them and their enemies and put them up in power. All right, we gonna get to that. It says, verse 4, therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of Yahawah power. Thus saith Yahawah power to the mountains and the hills, to the rivers, to the valleys, to the desolate waters, and to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey and derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about. All right, see, the Most High is saying, basically, like right now in this video, the Most High is lifting up his prophets to go ahead and speak forth and tell you people this, tell our people this. All right, some of our people looking around, it's like, damn man, this kind of fucked up, this and that. And then the Most High sending his men, I'm like, nah, bruh, we ain't gonna let that slide, bro. Like, yo, we see all of this shit. We see everything that you're doing. You know, all these things is being exposed about Esau right now, man. All his dirty work and all his little lies and things he got going on. The Most High is raising up his prophets to expose this damn devil for all the shit he doing. All right, verse 5. Therefore, thus saith Yahawah power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen. All right, so look, the Most High even pissed off at this shit, like seeing all these damn heathen walking around wearing our clothing and our, like, not to say our physical clothing, but you know what I mean? They still not identity and how do I say, reaping benefits off of our things, you know? Like you know somebody that's so-called famous, you walking around using their name for some clout. Yeah. I know, whoever, shit. Yeah, I know Jay-Z, my boy or whatever, whatnot. Oh yeah, you know Jay-Z. Well, shit, I'll do this and that for you if you can do such and such for me. This is what these heathen is doing, all right? But it go further than just the heathen, man, because they really nobody. They're just extras, all right? But continuing on, it says, let me read that again. Therefore, thus saith Yahawah power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea, which is a Greek way of saying basically these Edomites, all right? These so-called white people, all right? That's what it's talking about. It says, and against all Idumea, all right, which have appointed my land into their possessions with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out as a prey. And like I said, they over there in the land of Israel. Then you see over there in the Queen of England, homegirl sitting on the throne of David. All right, let me just continue on. Now, let's get into some scriptures that will show kind of like when we get our salvation. This is Amos chapter 9, verse 11. And that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen. All right. And so what they talking about? Oh, yeah. So we came about the woodworks and we got up on top. You know what I'm saying? After, you know, the Renaissance period and all that. They sitting on the throne of David. But what? That's not true, man. All right. The tabernacle of David is being raised up as you see it right now. The men of the Lord that's on the highways and the byways and on these video epistles that's prophesying in truth and sincerity from the will of the Most High. That's the tabernacle of David. All right. The elect, 144,000. All right. It says then in that, and you seeing that right now. That's why you being able to hear these videos and get this understanding and getting fed like this, because why? The tabernacles of David is being raised up. Them people been on over there since 1948. And that all you've seen since then was death and destruction coming to this here world. All right. But since the men of the Lord been out here on the highways and the byways and putting up these here videos and things like that, you starting to see what a lot of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans cast away that old skin and what coming back to your main heritage, your nationality. All right, being an Israelite. All right, you seeing all this because of why the men of the Lord, the tabernacle of David, which are the men of the Lord, is being raised up, and they're going on the highways and the byways and on these video epistles, raising up the rest of the house of David. All right, the 1/3 and the 144,000. All right, the elect. That's what it's talking about. And that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof. And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. All right. And that's what you're seeing now. The mighty men are on the highways and the byways. They getting out of this Babylonian juice, waking up. All right. And like you read in Ezekiel 37, that's the whole breakdown right there. Ezekiel 37. All right. When they talk all the way up to the valley of the dry bones, then they all coming together, and then they standing up on their feet, and they stood up an exceedingly great army. All right. Same thing. All right. And what they going to do? Let me read that again. Verse 11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and build it as in the days of old. That what? That they may possess the remnant of Edom, and all the heathen which are called by my name, saith Yahweh, that doth this. All right. So what? The tabernacle of David, the house of David, is being raised up to what? To basically take out Esau, Edom. All right. Expose Esau, Edom, and basically cast this damn devil out, man. All right. Let me just keep reading. Verse 13. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes him that soweth seed, and the mountain shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt. All right. And I will bring again the captivity of my people of Israel, and they shall build the waste cities and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and drink the wine thereof. They shall also make the gardens and eat the fruit of them. Right. So now this is also one of these prophecies that these so-called Israelis are saying that, yeah, see, look, God brought us back over here and so on and so forth and blah, 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 and Israel is flourishing and things like that. This is all a facade. This is all bullshit lies, man. Once we left over in the land of Israel, man, that whole land lay desolate. It wasn't growing shit. It was a fucking desert, man. It was nothing but a pile of fucking dirt, man. That's all it's been since we left from over there. All right. Even unto this day, it's the same place. It's still just a fucking pile of dirt over there, man. All right. These goddamn Israelis is over there bringing water in and bringing in plants and shit in. All right. And basically everything over there is fake, man. That place would not look like that with the trees and shit. It would be just a desert. It looked like the Sahara Desert, man, because them heathen are over there. But what? They're, how do you say, artificially making that land thrive. All right. It's not the Most High making that land thrive. All right. It says, and I will bring again the captivity. So like you see, places in Africa and stuff like that, some of the desert out there blossoming and blooming and shit like that. You see what I'm saying? That would be a little different. You see what I mean? It's just ain't nobody out there. It's just blossoming and blooming on its own. You see what I'm saying? But in the Israeli situation, they went over there to start dwelling there first. Then they imported all these things. They importing water. They importing plants and trees and shit like that, and planting them down over there to make it look like they thriving and flourishing. Now the Most High said, look, when he put them back over there, this land is going to wind up thriving and things like that. All right. It's going to wind up being good for us. All right. Verse 14 again. And I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel, and they shall build the waste cities and inhabit them. And they shall plant vineyards, and they shall drink the wine thereof. And they shall also make gardens and eat the fruit of them. And I will plant them upon their land, and they shall be no more pulled up out of their land, which I gave them, saith Yahweh thy power. Right. So what? That's another one of their lies. Oh, God brought us over here, blah, blah, blah. We can't leave because God gave us this. Look, man, when the Most High put us over there, we're gonna be ruling the earth, man. Ain't nobody gonna be trying to come up against us like that. All right. Let me just continue on. Actually, because I mentioned this, let me grab this real quick. Ezekiel 37 and 10. Just the point in Ezekiel 10, like I was getting at, I'll read 10 and 11. So this is the story of the valley of the dry bones. All right. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood up upon their feet, an exceedingly great army. All right. So now when you go back to, like, this all started in what? Ezekiel chapter 2. Read Ezekiel chapter 2, Ezekiel chapter 3. Then you can read, Daniel chapter 12, when it talks about that the books was going to be sealed. All right. Well, you started Daniel chapter 12 where to talk about the books being sealed. You can go to Revelation chapter 5, where it says that no man was able to loose those seals thereof except for basically YAHAWASHI. Then you go to Revelation 14, Revelation 7 tell you who the 144,000 are. All right. You go to Revelation 14 tell you that there was YAHAWASHI and 144,000, all with the mark of the Most High on their foreheads. All right. Which is this here knowledge and understanding. And they sung a new song that no man could understand. Right. No man could learn. That's these here breakdowns. All right. So when you go to Ezekiel 37, all right, that's pretty much the, as those men who got that new song, they was going to go out and they was going to be so-called breathing on all these other people and waking them or bringing them back to life, or prophesying unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel, and they was going to come back to their heritage. All right. So verse 10, so I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, an exceedingly great army. All right. And that's what you have going on right now, the 144,000 and the 1/3 being raised up. All right. But let me just continue on down. Verse Shalaka, give me 1 second. Yeah, I'm gonna start at verse 21. It says, well, let me start at I'm gonna start at verse 15. All right. The word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel and his companions, and then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel and his companions, and join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thy hand. All right. And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee and say, what will thou not show us what thou meanest by these? All right. And that's what you see when you see us on the highways and the byways. Our main sign, especially what all the camps have, is that 12 tribes of Israel sign. That's what this is talking about. All right. You got two different sticks. One stick is for Judah and his companions, or the southern kingdom, the kingdom of Judah. All right. Because you had the whole house of Israel was divided into two different kingdoms. You had the kingdom of Israel, which is the northern kingdom. Then you had the kingdom of Judah, which is the southern kingdom. All right. But then, and they were separated. All right. But then what? Most High said, what? You're going to take these two sticks and put them together. All right. And the two sticks is basically the northern kingdom, all right, and the southern kingdom being put back together as one kingdom, all right. And that's why we had those signs out there. That's one of the debate things where people are like, well, what you mean by this? What you mean by that? All right. Verse 18, when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, what will thou not show us what thou meanest by these? And that's why we got that sign that says Judah, so-called Negroes, and so on and so forth. All right. Verse 19. Say unto them, thus saith Yahweh power, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows. All right. That's that northern kingdom, the kingdom of Israel. And I will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand. Now with the stick of Judah, that's the southern kingdom, or the kingdom of Judah. All right. He's saying he's putting the kingdom of Israel with the kingdom of Judah together, and they're going to be basically just the whole house of Israel. All right. Verse 20, and the sticks whereon thou writest shall be in thy hand before their eyes. And whose eyes? Our people, when they being raised up. All right. Again, when we see some of the highways and the byways with that sign. But reading that to read this. All right. That's the things that's going to happen. You know, I was said all that to say this. Those people over in Israel, they claim to just be what? Basically the kingdom of Judah. Right. They claim that they're the so-called Jews. And sometimes they say Levi and stuff like that. They'll say, you know, 2 or the 3 tribes, or just 3 tribes, you know, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, which is the southern kingdom, the kingdom of Israel. So they're only claiming to be one kingdom. You see what I'm saying? Like, and in fact, like, why are you even calling yourself Israel if you only got the kingdom of Judah there? You see what I'm saying? Like, the whole kingdom of Israel, according to them, they're not even around. They don't even know where the hell they at. That's why they call them the lost tribes of the children of Israel. The 10 lost tribes. That's what they talking about. They missing the kingdom of Israel, right? But they claim to be what? The kingdom of Judah. They don't even say they claim to be the kingdom of Judah. They claim to be Israel. But, you know, when you kind of break it down, they be like, oh, okay, we Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Well, that would be the kingdom of Judah. But nevertheless, the Most High saying, look, I'm going to bring y'all back together. Y'all not going to be 2 nations no more. You're not going to have the 10 lost tribes. They're going to be all together. You see what I'm saying? So when you read about these prophecies that's coming to pass in the last days, why don't they have the rest of the tribes over there? Why is it only just the so-called southern kingdom or the so-called kingdom of Judah over there? Where's the kingdom of Israel at? All right. They still lost. Come on, man. Continuing on, verse 21, and say unto them, thus saith Yahweh power, behold, I will take the children of Israel, all right, the whole house, from among the heathen, whether they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. All right. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all. And there shall be no more 2 nations, neither shall they be divided into 2 kingdoms anymore at all. So once we get brought back together, as you see, like when you see us on the highways and the byways, you see what? Sometimes you see camps with so-called Negroes, right? And then sometimes you'll see a camp where we'll have so-called Negroes and so-called Latinos in the same camp. All right. That's 2 different kingdoms. You got the kingdom of Israel and you got the kingdom of Judah. But we don't call ourselves that no more. We're not really talking about, oh, you know, we represent the kingdom of Judah and so on and so forth, and they represent the kingdom of Israel. No, we say we the children of Israel. We the whole house. All the tribes all together as one. All right. We not separated into 2 kingdoms no more. All right. Oh, we got a king over here for the kingdom of Judah, and they got a king over there for the kingdom of Israel. No, we one house, one nation right now. All right. It's the kingdom of Israel. All right. That's why we say you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. That's encompassing both kingdoms, the north and the southern kingdom. All right. So it says, well, let me read 21 again. And say unto them, thus saith Yahweh power, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whether they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. And I will make them one nation. Now that's another thing. So why do you still got these Israelis all over the damn place and stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? When they're supposed to be all brought back over there. All right. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms at all. So what? They're gonna have one king. One king is gonna rule over them. All right. And who is that? You know, I would say on the lowest level, who's that one king gonna be reigning over them? That would be King David. All right. Like I said, you're gonna have the Most High. This is the order of command. You got the Most High, YAHAWASHI, King David, then the 12, then 144,000. All right. So it says, neither shall they defile themselves anymore with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions. All right. So, but wait a minute. You got one of the world's largest gay parades over there in the land of Israel. All right. You got these Israeli or these Jewish people over here circumcising little babies with their mouth on their penises and shit like that, giving them herpes and things like that, man. What are you talking about, man? They over there defiling themselves in the land over there still to this day. They over there having kosher pork, all kind of different things. All right. You got a lot of these people who don't even believe in the Bible. All right. They over there worshiping the damn devil and his Talmud and stuff like that. All right. These can't be the people. All right. They're not even lining up to the scriptures. They take a piece of this and a piece of that. Oh, see, God was going to let us come back to the land. Well, no, y'all did y'all trickery with the Balfour Declaration to get yourself back into the land. You gave yourself that damn land. Like the scriptures say, you have appointed his land into your own possession. The Most High didn't give you that. You gave that to yourself by rape, robbery, and murder. You stole those lands. All right. Verse 23, neither shall they defile themselves anymore with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions. But I will save them out of their dwelling places wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them. All right. So, but these Israelis, they ain't so-called cleansed. They ain't keeping the laws. All right. They over there just, hey, they walk in abominations. So shall they be my people, and I will be their power. All right. And that's not what's going on over there. Like these Israelis got to have Americans and everybody else so-called defending them. Why the Most High ain't defending y'all? All right. Verse 24, and David, my servant, shall be king over them. All right. And they shall have one shepherd, and they shall also walk in my judgments and observe my statutes and do them. So the scriptures clearly say when they get put back over there, King David was going to be raised back up. Obviously reincarnation, like we ain't got to go too deep into all that, but obviously King David had died a long ass time ago. You see what I'm saying? But what? Through reincarnation, if you can receive it, King David gonna come back and sit on this here throne. You gonna physically see him. All right. He gonna be here. All right. And King David, my servant, shall be king over them. The Most High said shall be, meaning that this ain't happened yet. All right. When you read through between the lines, it's like, wait a minute, I thought King David was already king over them. All right. But what it says, and what the kingdom of Israel wasn't split while King David was reigning. It happened after Solomon. All right. So nevertheless, and David shall be my servant. Salaki, and David my servant shall be king over them, and they shall have one shepherd, and they shall also walk in my judgments and observe my statutes and do them. Yeah, and part of the Most High statutes is what? Laws, statutes, and commandments is what? Not to touch pork, not to consume pork. And what are they over there doing? Having kosher pork. A man ain't supposed to lie with another man. What are they over there doing? Having one of the world's largest gay parades. All right, you ain't supposed to be fornicating with no other gods. What do these people do? Follow Babylonian Talmud and things like that. You see what I'm saying? Come on, man. These are the damn devil, man. All right. Verse 25, and they shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Jacob my servant, wherein your fathers have dwelt, and they shall dwell therein, even they and their children and their children's children forever. And my servant David shall be their prince forever. All right. So going back into why I was saying, hey man, David's not going to want for a man to sit on his throne. All right. Because beforehand he was supposed to have, his descendants, from his loins to keep reigning. All right. All the way ultimately down to YAHAWASHI. All right. But then at the same time, like we were reading here, David going to come back and sit on his throne, and he's not going to ever get up off of that throne. All right. YAHAWASHI is never going to abdicate his throne. You see what I'm saying? This is not, come on, man. This is what's written in the scriptures. All right. How come you have over there? You still have, first of all, you still had a damn throne. Like they kind of talking about when old girl get a little older, who gonna take the throne next and so on and so forth, But nevertheless, come on, man. You're not gonna have no woman over there unless this is a so-called transvestite. You see what I'm saying? But what? The Most High said he made two genders, all right? And you ain't supposed to be doing no shit like that. You see what I'm saying? So even if that is the case, they want to say that this is all going against the scriptures. You see what I'm saying? They don't really line up with the scriptures. They take 10% of some of the truth that's in the scriptures, and then they mar it all up. Like, oh yeah, God gonna give us this here land, and we're gonna dwell in righteousness, and everybody's gonna serve us. But wait a minute, y'all put yourself there like the scriptures say you would, and then y'all got a woman sitting on the throne over on the throne of David, and when the Most High said David was gonna be sitting on that throne, all right, and it says, and they shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Jacob my servant, wherein your fathers had dwelt, and they shall dwell therein, even they and their children and their children's children forever. You ain't gonna have no two-state solution. You ain't gonna be giving up no damn land and fighting. That ain't gonna happen. All right. It says, and their children's children forever, and my servant David shall be their prince forever. Moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them, and it shall be an everlasting covenant with them, and I will place them and multiply them, and will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forevermore. All right. So what? There's gonna be a covenant of peace with them. But what you see, these Israelis is constantly fighting. We're always under the threat, and people always want to exterminate us. But you wouldn't be crying like no bitch like that, all right? When we get into the rulership seat, we be like, I wish a motherfucker would come up. In fact, we probably have to put the damn spirit on these motherfuckers to rebel just to goddamn wax that ass. Because why? They gonna already know what the hell our power is really about, all right? Because the destruction of Babylon gonna already take place, and they gonna be like, oh shit, and these niggas got spiritual power. What the fuck? You see what I'm saying? Come on, man. Y'all don't got no real spiritual power. You got America backing your ass over there, man. All right. It says, my tabernacle also shall be with them. Yea, I will be their power, and they shall be my people. And the heathen shall know that I am Yahweh, that I, Yahweh, do sanctify Israel, when the sanctuary shall be in the midst of them forevermore. All right. The people don't know the name of Yahweh right now. The people of the world ain't sitting here reverencing the Most High. All right. You see these Israelis warring with these Arabs. All right. And now, not to go too far deep into, who their power is and whatever, or who they claim their God is or whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? Like, yo, wait a minute. Why y'all both gangbanging on who religion is, whatever, whatnot? If the Israelis was actually Israel, all right, and they was over there, they wouldn't be gangbanging with them Arabs over there. Them Arabs would just bow down and kiss the ring. But that ain't the fact that you got going on over there. All right. This is Jeremiah, Slovakia. I'm going to read down to, I want to say 10. This is Jeremiah 23. I'm going to start at verse 3. It says, and I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all the countries where I have driven them, and bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase. All right. And that hadn't happened yet, because we still here in captivity all over the four corners of the earth. All right. We being woken up, but what? That hadn't completely happened yet. All right. And I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith Yahweh. All right. We're not going to be lacking once we get up into this kingdom of heaven. All right. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the world. That ain't happening right now. There ain't no justice in the world. Look at the coup in Venezuela. How come these people over in Israel ain't standing up like, oh, this is wicked, y'all can't be doing that, so on and so forth. How come Israel ain't over here delegating why they struggling with these Palestinians first and foremost, if the Most High is with them? The Palestinians ain't really shit militarily wise, comparably to nothing. How the fuck is the Most High struggling with these motherfuckers, man? You see what I'm saying? How is it that you got Russia out here running amok and America running amok, and Israel ain't reigning over both of them? Just like, you know what? If y'all don't sit the fuck down, I'm gonna bomb both of y'all at the same time. Israel ain't got no power like that, man. All right. Verse 6, in his days Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. And this is the name whereby he shall be called Yahweh our righteousness, or the Lord our righteousness. All right. So you don't see that, again, like I said, they got basically just the kingdom of, what they claim is just the kingdom of Judah over there, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. They don't even have the kingdom of Israel over there. They don't have the 10 tribes over there. That's why you still have that term, the so-called lost 10 tribes of Israel. All right. Because they don't have all the tribes over there. All right. But again, this is going against what the scriptures say. All right. Verse 7. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that they shall no more say, Yahweh liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. All right. And that's talking about what? The Exodus. They still make movies about the Exodus until this day, man. They still talk about the Exodus in Egypt till this day. All right. But Yahweh liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel. All right. Not just the kingdom of Judah. All right. Notice how it says the house of Israel, not the kingdom of Israel, not the kingdom of Judah. All right. It says the whole house, meaning all 12 tribes. All right. This the whole deal. It says, but Yahweh liveth, which brought up and led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country. What is the north country, man? America, Babylon. All right. This is where the mass exodus is going to take place from. This is when we get our salvation. This is what it's talking about. All right. It says, which led the house of Israel out of the north country and from all the countries whither I had driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. Again, this ain't happened yet. All right. When the Lord come back, the Lord is going to wind up, that's what we talk about, salvation. When the Lord come back, judgment day, you know what I'm saying? When the world, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, come back and fight all his foes and put them all in subjection. The planet ain't seen that shit yet. We still under the subjection of the goddamn devil, the so-called white man. All right. This is what he fearing about. And this is what he preparing for. This is why he trying to cut us off, because he know these things are coming to pass. All right. These are just facades that he got most people in brainwashed under and just to pacify him from being a devil. But what? We see through all of this, man. All right. We got the shield of faith and we got all the weapons of our warfare right here and right there. So we see through all this shit. We can cut it all down and we can defend ourselves from these lies and shit like that. All right. But continuing on, it says, let me see. Actually, let me just go ahead and grab my next precept. I got a couple more and I'm going to close out. This is Jeremiah. Yep. This is Jeremiah 37. Behold, I will gather them. It says, behold, I will gather them out of all the countries where I have driven them. Let me see. It says, behold, I will gather them out of all the countries where I have driven them in my anger and in my fury and great wrath. All right. So the Most High saying, I'm going to bring them back. I'm going to gather them back up from all the places where I scattered them. Go back to Deuteronomy 28 and verse like 64 to 68. The Most High said he was going to scatter us in all four corners of the earth into all countries. All right. Until what? Until the time he come back and save us. This is what salvation is talking about. All right. The deliverance. All right. Redeeming. This is the Lord going to redeem us back, because the Most High hadn't scattered us and turned his back on us because we turned our back on him and broke his law, statutes, commandments. Just like you a father or a mother and your child disobeying you, you put them on punishment. All right. You cast them out of your sight for a time being. You didn't put your child up for adoption or say, I don't want this child. It ain't my child no more. No, you put them on punishment. You punishing them, and then you're going to bring them back. All right. You can come on back into the living room with the rest of the family. Now you done learned your lesson. All right. Behold, I will gather them out of the countries whither I had driven them in my anger and in my fury and in great wrath. And I will bring them again into this place and will cause them to dwell safely. Right. Look at Israel right now. They got those missile defense systems and those missile alarms and shit like that going off all the time over there. They're not dwelling in safety. Them people are dwelling in fear and basically in fear and trembling. All right. Because all the time they worried about so-called rocket attacks from Palestine and so on and so forth. All right, man. Come on, man. These people ain't dwelling safely over there. All right. And they talking about Iran want to knock them off the face of the earth. Where's your God at? How come your God can't just wipe them out like that, man? Why don't you have no strength in your own hand and your own power? Why you got to go over there and start bitching to America and have America do this for you, man? All right. Also, looking at England, how come America is reigning over top of y'all? Y'all sitting on the throne of David. What the fuck is going on? All right. Verse 38, and they shall be my people, and I will be their power, and I will give them one heart and one way, that they may fear me forever, for the good of them and for their children after them. So going into well, shit. Let me just read the next verse. Verse 40. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them. This is that new covenant. And I will not turn away from them to do them good, but I will put fear in their hearts, that they shall not depart from me. So the Most High is going to write the law, statutes, commandments inside of our hearts, that we're not going to go off, man. All right. We're not going to be, like the scripture say, we're not going to be teaching each other. You're not going to have to be being edified from no other brother. No brother ain't going to be having to teach you the scriptures and telling you the law, statutes, commandments. The Most High going to program your ass not to go off. All right. Now look at these people over there. They still doing abominations day after day after day, man. All right. Let's see. Let me just continue on real quick. Actually, you see, Jeremiah. Salakia. Oh yeah, Ezekiel 28. Grab Ezekiel 28. This is Ezekiel 28, verse 25. Thus saith Yahweh power, when I shall have gathered the house of Israel, all right, the whole house, not the kingdom of Judah, not just the kingdom of Judah, all right, and leave the kingdom of Israel out there, but the whole house, all the tribes, all right. Thus saith Yahweh power, when I shall have gathered the house of Israel from the people among whom they are scattered, and shall be sanctified in them in the sight of the heathen, all right. There ain't gonna be no controversy with these other nations of Israel ruling once we get into power. All right. Then shall they dwell in their land that I have given unto my servant Jacob, and they shall dwell safely therein, and shall build houses and plant vineyards. Yea, they shall dwell in confidence when I have executed judgment upon all those that despise them round about, and they shall know that I am Yahweh their power. All right, so when the Most High bring this damn destruction on these other nations, it's going to strike fear into their hearts, just like when in Egypt. When the Most High came through and destroyed Egypt, the people was fearing and their hearts was trembling because of what the Most High had done to the Egyptians. All right, but this is all talking about what? When the Lord come back and save Israel, deliver Israel, and put us back into the land of Israel. All right, and raise us back up, man. These other nations it's not going to be like that. We're going to be reigning supreme over all these other nations. All right, I'm going to close out with this one and this is Ezekiel 34 and 22. Therefore will I save my flock, and they shall be no more a prey. All right. And I will judge between cattle and cattle. So what? The Most High say he's going to save his flock, or the nation of Israel. All right. And they shall be no more a prey. Well, how come you got the Iranians talking about they trying to go over there to, and blow up Israel? All right. Why you got all these different nations fighting up against Israel and all these people that's against them if they the Most High's people? All right. Oh, they think that they're gonna actually win against a fight against the Most High. All right, and when did the Most High come down and try to deliver them out of any of their things? All I seen was the damn devil helping them with their finance and they wickedness and their usury. All right, the so-called white man did all this for their own self. Like we started out, they have appointed the ancient high places in their own possessions. All right, it says verse 23, and I will set up one shepherd over them, and he shall feed them, even my servant David. He shall feed them, and he shall be their shepherd. Where's King David at over there, man? King David is not ruling over there, and he's not reigning over there. He's not set up over there. And in fact, you like the video I showed in this video, the Queen of England, the so-called Queen of England, is sitting on the throne of David. All right, David is not no transvestite, man. All right, but nevertheless, like that shit's just all walking abominations, man. Just think about what we're reading here. Everything gonna be set up in righteousness, but all the things that they got going on over there is all in wickedness, and it's just wholly polluted, man. Verse 23 again, it says, I will set up one shepherd over them, and he shall feed them, even my servant David. And he shall feed them, and he shall be their shepherd. And I, Yahweh, will be their power, and my servant David a prince among them. And I, Yahweh, have spoken it. All right. So again, King David gonna be reigning. All right. And I will make with them a covenant of peace, and will cause the evil beast to cease out of the land, and they shall dwell safely in the wilderness and sleep in the woods. And I will make them and the places round about my hill a blessing, and I will cause the showers to come down in the season, and there shall be showers of blessing. All right. And the tree of the field shall yield her fruit, and the earth shall yield her increase, and they shall be safe in their land. All right. So again, like I was saying, in the land of Israel, man, they over there, how you say, planting shit over there, and how you say, implanting stuff. You know, they bringing stuff and planting the shit over there. It's not naturally just springing up like that because the Most High has blessed that land. No, it's still a wilderness and a desert over there. All right. That's what it would be if they wasn't over there just importing trees and bringing water from here and there, man. The Most High made that land desolate. All right. It says, and the tree of the field shall yield her fruit, and the earth shall yield her increase, and they shall be safe in their land. All right. They're not safe in their land at this point in time. And shall know that I am Yahweh when I have broken the bands of their yoke and delivered them out of the hand of those that serve them themselves of them. All right. So once we get up out of captivity, the Most High gonna wind up putting everybody else in subjection. All right. How come the damn Jewish people didn't wind up putting the Germans fully in subjection, and everybody else fully in subjection, the Russians and all of them fully in subjection? All right. Them nations ain't fully, well, Germans pay back reparations, but these people ain't in full subjection under these Israelis. They're not scared of no, like Russia's not scared of no goddamn Israeli military. Germany, even though that, you know, they so-called American allies, they're not scared of Israel's military, man. That's a small ass place, man. And neither is England really a real threat to anybody in the world at this point in time, because America really is the dominant force now. All right. Verse 28, and they shall be no more a prey to the heathen. Why you have these conflicts between these Israelis and these other people. All right. Why you have things like in England, the Brexit going on. All right. They economy, everything is over there failing for these people, man. All right, they coming down with the swiftness, but all of a sudden we coming into a time closer and closer to when the Lord coming. And these people is waxing worse and worse. But in reality, the real children of Israel should be waxing greater and greater at this point in time. But what you see is their blessings are starting to fall off of them, and then our blessings starting to or the blessings being transferred unto us, and our curses are falling off of us and being transferred to them. This is what you see in Deuteronomy 30 and 7. All these curses falling upon our enemies. All right, you see in Esau. Look, coming up out of his blessing now, and like the scripture saying in 2nd Ezra 6, Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So we in that transition period now. All right. It says 29, and I will raise up for them a plant of renown, and they shall be no more consumed in hunger in the land, neither bear the shame of the heathen anymore. Thus shall they know that I am Yahweh, their power, and with them, and that they, even the house of Israel, are my people, saith Yahweh. And ye are my flock, the flock of my pasture are men. I am your power, saith Yahweh. All right. So the flock of his pasture is what? Starting with the men. All right. First, it is men, but you're not going to have no goddamn lady, no queen or nothing like that sitting on the throne of David, man. That's not going to happen. King David himself, a man, a straight man, all right, without no sex changes or nothing like that, is going to be sitting on that throne, man. You're going to notice a fully masculine man from hey, just looking at what he do, man. All the things that he did was very masculine. There was no feminine traits inside of him at all. All right. So for you to sit there and say that the Queen of England is sitting on the throne of David, man, y'all just guilty as charged, man. You caught red-handed with what the scripture said you was going to be caught with. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying into the elect. Until next time, I say, call halal, Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashah, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong and shalom.